So hello everyone. Today Mike Hughes was removed from the pup, and obviously that's a good thing. And because as they have said, it has been a little bit more than the initial reported ACL injury. They kind of said there was more to it, and that every ACL is different. And he should be able to practice again for the first time this year. So now the question is, when can we expect him back? Not week one. I highly doubt it's week one because I think this is probably a likely similar situation to what we had with Pat Elfline last season. Because if you're able to begin the season on the pup after being the entire preseason on the pup, that physically unable to perform list, you end up out for the first 6 weeks no matter what. So even if he came back healthy within those first 6 weeks, he began the season on the physically unable to perform list. Therefore, has to sit out the first 6 weeks. So with Elfline, they projected, well, within the first month, he should be back. So within the first 4 weeks. This is probably a very similar thing just because, that's usually how these things work. And with Elfline in himself, he was kind of forced back, which is not good because I think that was pretty clear. But, we were so desperate up on the front line that we kind of had to. I think that's the kind of thing we're afforded with Mike Hughes, though. Because at corner, we have a little bit more luxury there. And we might be able to keep it slow, keep it nice and steady. Don't force him back, give him the proper time to heal. And this is assuming the three main guys in Rhodes, Alexander, and Waynes all stay healthy because if those three guys stay healthy throughout this portion of the season, then it's fine. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to force him back, and it wouldn't be that bad. So it just probably not opening day though, because you just no. Because if you force him back, you might also get the Dalvin Cook thing from last year where it's a pretty normal injury to sustain that hamstring problem when you come off of these torn ligament things and you start pushing your body too soon, and then you kind of have these hamstring issues, and that wouldn't be good, obviously, especially since we won't have Holton Hill to kind of soften the blow as it is not having Holton Hill, not Holton, for not having Mike Hughes for however long they are projecting this. And but what we do have is, I guess, Jaron Curse is the backup nickel for now, I would assume. And then I imagine it would probably be Benet Benwickery or Chris Boyd as the backup option on the outside, which isn't actually too bad in comparison to other teams in the league when you're talking about a backup outside corner. But obviously, we're kind of spoiled a little bit with the corners, as kind of have that first round secondary thing going. And yeah, but I can't imagine they would force him back, given the fact that you could also give him, another injury long term. And that's really not a good idea with this team. Just because, well, obviously any long term injury is bad to any player. But for us, with this position group at least, both Alexander and Trey Waynes, both are under expiring contracts this year. And you group that in with, throughout this offseason, people were kind of having both Rhodes and Trey Waynes into trade rumors. So that's all three of your corners. And I really feel like you don't want to mess up this future piece that you have in Mike Hughes, who has kind of the ability to play both inside and outside and maybe some safety. We don't know yet. But there's that chance, and Holton Hill might be the same thing. I do think that's probably why Holton Hill stays on the roster, just because there's so much uncertainty with these first three guys currently that you probably can't get rid of a guy of Holton Hill's, talent. So there is that. I would like knowing you guys think we'll get this guy back because I really don't think forcing him back week one is a good idea just because he hasn't been part of any of the organized team activities, training camp practices, anything like that. So if he is back week one, that means he has 1 week of practice, basically. Like, well, maybe 2 weeks of practice, and you throw him out there to the Wolves covering, it's Atlanta. So either Sanu, Calvin Ridley, or Julio Jones. Probably not the best thing coming right off of a torn ACL with only 2 weeks of practice. So I doubt we get him back week one. So I'd like to know when you guys think we'll get him back, your thoughts, all the good stuff. And until next time, I bid you all adieu.